don't want to be held accountable. And I say it's time for them to go away because we had enough. So that's it. I'm glad everyone is here today. I'm so excited to see what will be the outcome of this upcoming election. And no matter what, at least we're here and we'll continue to be together and stand up and make this government accountable for the nasty things they've done to us, locked us down. Instead, they should be locked up. And I'm Diane Boscovic, Kitchener candidate for the People's Party of Canada. Hello? Okay.
Hi, everybody. I'm Melissa Baumgartner. I'm your PPC candidate for Kitchener South Hespeler. Thank you guys so much for coming today. It's such an honor to be here with all of you. We know that this time that we're all living through right now is... We know that this time we're all living through right now is a really difficult time, and there's never been a more important time in the history of this country for Canadians to come together, for ourselves, for each other, for the kids and the future. We need to make sure that we are not standing for any of this. I'm here to stand up for the people in my riding. I want to make sure that you're all reaching out. I want to talk to everyone. I want to make sure that we are going to move forward together in a sense that we're not doing it for the political rhetoric. We're not doing it for the globalists. We're not doing it for any of this nonsense. We're doing this for each other. We need to reject what's happening right now, reject the globalism, and reject the uniparty that is everyone else except for the PPC. So everybody that's here today, again, it's an honor to share this time with you. It's our privilege to represent the ridings that we're representing for the PPC. We hope to see a lot more of you. Get out there, vote for change. We're gonna go to Ottawa and we are gonna fight for you. Right? Hold on. All right, I'm here. Is this on?
Is this thing on? All right, everybody, how we doing? Woo! Okay, I'm gonna keep this girl power thing going. Everybody, my name is Maggie Sagunas. I am your PPC candidate for Cambridge. Where are my Cambridge people at? Woo! All right, guys. First, thank you so much for coming out. I love this unity. I love everybody being together. This is amazing. How many times have you guys seen this many people without masks? Hugging, smiling, laughing, shaking hands, high-fiving. Look to the person next to you. Give them a high five, man. This is what we're here for. Right? All right. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Hey, Pat. Patrick Doucette, everybody. Oh, my God. I'm going to keep it short and sweet. Thank you guys for coming. You guys know why we're all here. We're all here to unite. We're all here to fight for what's right, for our right for freedom, for our right to smile, like I said before. And I have one question for everybody. Are you guys ready to be free? Are you ready? I said, are you ready? If you guys haven't voted already, September 20th, do the right choice. Vote PPC, Cambridge, vote Maggie. How do you guys spell freedom? M-A-G-G-I-E, baby. That's it. All right. Oh my God, sorry. I have to take everything down. Woo! Patrick, you said!
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Patrick Doucette. I'm your candidate for the People's Party of Canada for the riding of Waterloo. I just want to say, if you take a look around and see the size of this crowd, I mean, it is overwhelming. It is just fantastic. I am so glad to be here, honored to be here with all of you. Now, I know in a crowd this size, there's a lot of people here. I mean, a lot of you have already voted, and I thank you for that because you've come out and you've told me that you've given support to the 5 candidates that we have here. I know all the 5 candidates that are here. They're everyday, average Canadians, and they're wonderful people. But I know in a crowd that this size that people are interested about how they should vote. They're not sure. They've got questions. There's a lot of people here that are thinking, well, what about this People's Party? Is this a good thing for Canada? What do I do? And what about the Liberals and the Conservatives and all that? So I'm not going to have a high energy talk for you, but I'd like to slow it down a little bit. And I'd just like to go over a couple of things that I took some notes on. Something that Maxime Bernier often talks about is he's saying there's a common sense revolution. And what we're facing today is we're facing the stifling of common sense. It seems to me that the media doesn't want you to think for yourself. When you have a common sense idea, they try and put you down and they try and shame you and to make you feel bad because you're thinking a certain way. Is that true? Now, so I'm just going to go over a couple of things here, and this is for everybody, because I know that in a crowd this size, there's going to be a lot of people that's undecided. We're going to have some Liberal voters here, Conservatives here, some Green Party people here, some ND people here. That's all okay. That's the beauty of being in a democracy, right? We're going to have a broad spectrum of people here. But I want to talk a little bit about this idea of carbon tax, right? According to the Union of Concerned Scientists, Science for a Healthy Planet and a Safer World, that Canada produces approximately 1.5 or 1.6% of the global output of carbon. But they're forcing Canadians, and some people even say because of the amount of forests that we have, we may already be even carbon neutral, but I'll leave that for the scientists to argue. But China is number one, at far ahead. They're producing almost 30% of the world's output of carbon, and Canada producing 1.5%. But they want Canada to cut their output in half. So they want Canada to go from 1.5% down to 0.75%. How does that affect the carbon output of the world when China is producing 30% of the carbon output? You have to think common sense, and that can be very detrimental to Canada's productivity. And China is planning to increase their carbon output until 2030. And then they're going to start going down and say they're going to do it. So you look at that policy and you say, well, what does my common sense tell me? It's not fair towards Canadians. Another thing about the carbon tax adds an extra 8.8% tax on gasoline. We're already paying provincial fuel tax, 14.7%, provincial sales tax, 13%, federal excise tax, 10%, GST, 5%. The total that we're paying on our gasoline in a country that produces lots of oil and gas that we should basically get our gas for free is 51.54% of what you pay at the pump. That's tax. 51% of what you pay at the pump is tax. So what is the benefit of an extra 8% carbon tax? Now, we have Aaron O'Toole who said, oh, we're going to get rid of carbon tax. A few months later, he copies Trudeau's policy and says we're going to have a carbon tax, right? This is something that we don't need. It trickles down from being part of the Paris Accord and the global directives and all those kind of things. That's one thing I wanted to mention that the People's Party is going to fight against. We're not going to have a carbon tax when you're under a People's Party government. The other topic I want to speak briefly about is this whole idea of imposed medical treatment, right? I'm all for whatever is available medically to help people. Nobody here wants to get sick. Nobody wants to expose themselves or expose other people to a virus. We're average Canadians and we want to keep our neighbors and friends and loved ones safe as much as anybody else. We all care about each other. It's not that we're taking undue risks. We care about the health of one another. But listen to what Trudeau himself spoke. He said, what do you do? And this is just a few months ago. Please listen carefully to what I'm about to tell you here. He said, what do you do with somebody with an allergy who's immunocompromised, or someone with religious or deep convictions decide that no, they're not going to get a vaccine? We're not a country that makes vaccines mandatory. This is what he said just a few months ago. He said, we're not a country that makes vaccines mandatory. And I heard that and I said, well, that sounds reasonable. Sounds like he's on the side of the people. But what did he say just recently? He said, I believe vaccines should be mandatory for travel in planes and trains, etc. And then yesterday, he said, if you make a choice to not get vaccinated, then I will have no sympathy for you. This is what the leader of our country said. Exactly. He went from over here supporting people who want to make their own medical choices on one hand, and then totally reversing his position. And is it any wonder that Rob Ford did the same thing? He changed from one position to the exact opposite. When you have the leader of your own country flip-flopping so directly from one position to another, he's basically being a traitor to the people. He's betraying each and every one of us here. He's saying one thing a few months ago and then totally reversing his position a few months later. That's not right. That's not the kind of leadership that we need in this country to get through whatever we're facing, whether it's a sickness or a disease or a problem. We need somebody that's going to have integrity in what they speak and not be influenced by something else. And who knows what that something is? Medical, big pharma, perhaps? Not hard to figure out. Thank you. Thank you very much. So to those of you that are still not sure about how you're voting, and that last topic I want to mention, they said, well, you can't vote for the People's Party because you're splitting the vote and it's not going to defeat Trudeau. Come on. Come on. Don't. If you're voting for the Conservative Party, you're voting for a party that is adopting the same policies that the Liberals are following, right? You've got the People's Party that's got some integrity and righteousness behind it under Maxime Bernier, and you've got everybody else that's following a globalist agenda. And you got to do your own research and find out what's going on. I want to finish up with a quote, because we do have a big battle ahead of us, and it's not going to stop on September 20th. Look around you and see the size of this crowd. The People's Party is going to continue to grow and continue to fight for the rights and freedoms of all Canadians. We're an inclusive party. We want to fight for everybody. And this is going to keep going after the 20th. And you guys are the groundswell. You guys are at a point in history right now where you are taking the place of the media. You are the voice of the People's Party of Canada, because the CBC is not going to do us any favors. They're not out here showing us on the 6 o'clock news tonight so that people that are watching their televisions can see what's going on. They're not here. So we're dependent upon each and every one of you to share our message, to grab a few flyers before you go home and share them with your neighbors. There's no pressure. You just say, hey, look at our platform. We're a common sense alternative. We care about Canadians. This is what we represent. Don't believe these smear campaigns, these lies that try and paint the People's Party this way or that way or that. It's not that at all. It's everyday Canadians like ourselves that are standing up and saying, let's make a difference that's going to help Canada. Let's make a difference and get better leadership in place, and not something that's just bowing to a medical tyranny, forcing people to lose their jobs, not be able to send their kids to school, and a number of other issues that I don't want to bore you with. But let me finish with this quote from Thomas Paine, because this is the struggle that we're facing. It's a very real battle. This is not a joke what we're doing here. This is a serious battle. He said, tyranny, like hell, is not easily conquered. Yet we have this consolation within us, that the harder the conflict, the more glorious the triumph. Yeah! Vote for the People's Party of Canada and bring righteous government back to Canada. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, I think.
Also that we have a situation where we've got someone who needs to find a in there. Some
Stuff on my burger.
See ya.
Hey, I remember you.
I met you at what is it, Hopeful, right?
Niagara. Was it Niagara?
The Unmasked Children Rally.
No, I think we met at Niagara because I've only been. Maxine was there.
Waterloo Town Square.
Waterloo Town Square. Yeah. Okay, that's where I saw you. Yeah, I was
I
at.
just want to quick about the turnout today and kind of how things are going on the campaign trail.
Sure. Where do you want to do it?
Get your advertising. Or, I guess your sign's over there. Where's yours?
There's one of my signs. A couple of my signs. Yeah.
Right.
You want me just behind it or?
I don't think that's going to be much of anything out here. But Louis, Kevin, Kitchener-Waterloo, so how have things been going on the campaign trail so far?
Well, there's ups and downs with the campaign. There's a lot of people that don't quite understand what is going on politically, and so we're there to try and educate the people a little bit as to what is happening in this country. So it's but we've had some wonderful, great responses, and it's all good. So no, very pleased. It's great to see people coming, and we'll just go over this way. It's great to see people coming out, and I'm getting stopped on the road. They're recognizing me, and they're telling me, "Hey, I'm going to vote for you right now." So that was just yesterday. So it was wonderful to see.
Today, obviously, a pretty good turnout. What are your thoughts on the turnout today for the All Candidates Meet and Greet?
We started this campaign to advertise this on Monday, and the fact that we've got this many people showing up, and we are just so overwhelmed and elated. I can't believe the response that we got. We're just so happy.
The closing pitch, you're obviously so you're the candidate for Kitchener-Conestoga for the People's Party of Canada. Closing pitch to an undecided voter right now on why they should part with their vote, not just for the People's Party of Canada, but specifically you as the candidate representing them.
Well, yeah. What's happening right now? If you saw the video the other night of the debate, we had 5 people there that were represented. Maxime wasn't represented. He was denied the ability to be out there. But all 5 of them are in sync. They all came out and they said, "We're in this together." And you know what? They are in this together. That's the problem. And that's why they won't let Maxime in, because Maxime represents something more closely aligned with freedom than what they are proposing. So that is what is happening out there.
Thanks for joining us. Again, Kevin Dupuis, Kitchener-Conestoga candidate.
Kevin Dupuis, Kitchener-Conestoga. Thank you very much. Yeah, good to see you too. It's 8 days, so about 7 weeks campaign.
Sorry. Turn this around. Gonna do the best to get some interviews with some candidates here. So stick around the best you can. Good job, bro. Thanks. As you can see, a very big crowd, probably a couple hundred people, maybe a little bit above that. Or we stop the crowd as we got a nice table set up here.
Seated Colorado, if you take
Hey everyone, Greg Staley here from Diverge Media again. Crowd is quite large here, so struggling to find candidates. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the live here. I have my camera with me, and what I'll do is I'll record hopefully some more interviews here, get some pictures of the crowd, and we'll post that to our social media page later tonight. Thank you for joining us. Again, if you can support us, please do so, divergemedia.ca. We have merch. We also take donations. So appreciate it. Special thank you to Richard Mitchell for allowing this live coverage to happen. Because we were maxed out on data. I've been covering a lot of events this last month or so, and I went over 12 gigs of data. And so he lent his cell phone to me for a hotspot and allowed us to bring this coverage to you. So special thanks to Richard. And again, thank you for joining us. I'm Greg Staley of Diverge Media. We'll see you next time.